2 weeks ago, I did a video on Deuteronomy 13, and just addressing, is this talking about Jesus? I gave some examples of how it would fit into things in the New Testament. Last week, on Sunday, on Tenak Talk with William Hall, Rabbi Rabbi Singer got this call. I wanted to play it. I found it interesting.
And where are you calling from? Thank you.
Good morning, Rabbi. This is Lemuel from Florida. My question to you is regarding Deuteronomy 13. When Hashem starts talking about the false prophet, he mentions, it could be the cousin, it could be the brother of your mother, it could be different people. But then towards the end, he specifically concentrates on the male figure, and he says, this prophet, he, the son of your mother, and continues with he, emphasizing as a him. My question to you, is it possible that this false prophet that he's referring to is actually Jesus and the whole New Testament? And if he allowed it, did he not allow it for our free will to come out of this idolatry ourselves? Thank you, and shalom. I just want to make sure I have this correct, this understanding. Thank you.
Now, I have no idea whether this guy saw my video or not. Obviously, Tenak Talk gets a ton more viewers than I do. I just found it interesting what Rabbi said. The first thing he says here.
Bye-bye.
Not today for your answer, Rabbi. That's a good question. I like that.
That's a fascinating question, and I think we're doing this 7 years. I don't think that question ever came up. And I have...
So you could see where I saw, like when my radar went off, as soon as I saw, not the headline up here, but this was the opening call on the show, and when I saw, I forget how it was worded on Tenak Talk, when I saw the way it was worded, I said, it's got to be Deuteronomy 13. Matter of fact, I was at the house, and I told Mona, I said, this has to be Deuteronomy 13. I clicked on it, sure enough, it was. Interesting timing. Now, here's what I wanted to get into about this. I want to point out that, yeah, I see what the caller's saying in Deuteronomy 13. I just don't think that the text demands this, okay? The text demands that I recognize that this false prophet is going to be a Jew. It does not demand that I recognize that it's only going to have a mother or whatever. And I want to show where Rabbi Singer is extraordinarily fair with this topic here. Let me, right around here.
It's verse 6, because the Christians cut off the first verse of Deuteronomy 13, verse 1, and pack it into the end of Deuteronomy 12. I don't want to get into that, although it's tangentially related. We'll just let that go. I don't want to confuse you. As it turns out, the Torah specifically immediately begins with a seducer, a false prophet who is among your brethren. But the Torah does not begin with cousins or anyone else. The Torah says, Ki yisischa achicha ven imecha, if your brother will seduce you. And how is he your brother? He is the son of your mother. It doesn't say the son of your father, or the son of your mother and father, or the son of your parents. That's how it begins. That's the first one. The first relationship. And then it says if you're your son, your daughter, other people. But the very first identifying feature that Torah zooms in is like a laser beam, is this is an individual, and what will be striking about him is that he is your brother. How? Because he's the son of your mother, no mention of our father. You could attribute this to, well, you're Jewish by your mother, not by the father. The father does not convey Jewish identity. And this would be one of quite a number of examples throughout the Hebrew Bible where we see that Jewish identity, not tribe identity, but just are you a Jew or not, only the mother can convey this, not the father. And here...
That's an extraordinarily fair point. I really didn't think of that. But it's entirely possible that the passage is simply saying he's a Jew, he's your brother, and his mother's a Jew, so he's a Jew. like I said, I mean, to me, the text only demands that I read that he's a Jew. Now, I can read other things into it, and the rabbi does go on, and this was interesting to me. I forget the name of the woman. I just did an audiobook by a woman who believes that Jesus and the Apostle Paul are actually the same person. It's complicated. I don't subscribe to her theory myself, but here's some information as she discussed in the book we're about to get from the rabbi.
We see a unambiguous reference to this, okay? But here is where we go nuclear. There is a Jewish, it's not just a legend, it's in our major sources in the Talmud that Jesus was in fact the son of a Jewish woman, Mary, and his father, the man who sired him, was actually a non-Jewish man. He was a Roman soldier named Pandera. Now, I want to just give you a big caution light. There is enormous debate whether this Jesus in the Talmud is the Jesus of Christianity.
So basically what the rabbi's getting at here is that there are a ton of possibilities. This could be the virgin birth, this son of a mother, not a father. This could be the Roman soldier, Jewish mother. This could simply be saying he's a Jew passed down from the mother, and that's my point. The text doesn't demand any particular reading here. I'm not saying that the way the caller took it is wrong. I think that's a perfectly legitimate way that you could take it. But what I try to do here at Biblical Anarchy is I try to stick with what the text demands rather than trying to read more into it. Now, in the video, and I'll put the link up there, but in the video, obviously, I do draw some parallels with the New Testament, so I do take it places, but I think everywhere I took it, the text demands. I just found it interesting. He says, 7 years we never had this call. The call comes up a week after my video. Either the viewer of Tenak Talk also viewed my video, or great minds think alike. What can I say, folks?